Welcome to the Red Raider Coaches Show. I'm your host, Joe Hayes, and I'm here with our head football coach, Keith Goss. Coach, before we get started tonight, we've got really heavy hearts, someone near and dear to me. We just want to give our condolences to the Dial family with the loss of Brian Dial, and our hearts and prayers go out to Angie and his boys and their family during these difficult times. And again, our hearts and prayers go out to them. Coach, difficult times, difficult situations, but sometimes there are some things that are more important. And Brian was a pillar to the community, and just great Christian man, Christian family, and wonderful people, and definitely deserve our thoughts and prayers.
Absolutely.
Coach, our sponsors this week, one little change we have, you'll notice we've actually got our platinum and gold sponsors added in on our commercials. So we'll have that so you can see on there, but I still want to go through some of our other sponsors and get them a little recognition. Our silver sponsors, we got Carver Drug Company, the Lube Traveler, Satilla REMC, Dr. Harrison Clay Carter, Kevin Boatwright, Mandy Scruggs, Road Runners, RSB, Forestry, Lamar's Pharmacy, Family Vision Care, Darren Wheeler, Subway of Alma, Cohen's of Alma, Chuck Vonnier, Alma Auto Sure, Scott Pools, MGN Detailing, Pineland Bank, Robbie Johnson, Dairy Queen of Alma, Ideal Cleaners, Barrett and Candace Boatwright, Patterson Pharmacy Care, Marty and Melanie Metters, K&L Barbecue, Blake Starlin, Andy Cawthorn Auto Sales, and Stash 32. That's a big list, Coach, of silver sponsors.
Yeah, a lot of people, a lot of companies just supporting our guys, and that means the world.
Absolutely. Each week, Raider Nation, we kind of want to go through and give you a breakdown of who our silver and black and white and red sponsors, and each of these people deserve recognition, these companies as well, for their contributions to Red Raider football, and we can't thank them enough. And Coach, also our Touchdown Club for making all this possible and putting it together. And
yeah, the way everything was put together, getting the signs up, all the banners up on the stadiums, all the artwork that's put up, the flags that have been hung up, just all the time and effort put in by the Booster Club, getting packages put together. It's not easy to put together all the packages, especially ordering things, making sure everything's done the right way, making sure everybody gets what they're supposed to, and it's usually put together in a nice little format and delivered to people. So just the amount of work put in by so many in the Booster Club is just a really impressive feat, and we really appreciate everything.
Absolutely. Coach, I know Thursday and Friday, it blew me away with the amount of work that our members of the Booster Club were putting in. And I want to thank Jason Taylor. The man was running around like a wild man, picking up stuff, carrying. I want to thank Lisa Hughes and Julie Specialties, her and Brandon over there, putting these packets together. And a lot of you people that got these season tickets that come in a nice pretty envelope, had you either a tag or your season tickets and your parking passes, and just was presented very well. And we want to thank Lisa and Brandon for all they did. And John Hughes, our president, he was out here picking up stuff and helping set up the parking lot. And
Heath Carver.
And Heath Carver. Again, he's getting these signs last minute. And, a lot of Raider Nation were calling some of us on Thursday and Friday. And these guys are trying everything behind the scenes of getting all this stuff to put out there.
Absolutely.
Mr. Larry Taylor was out picking things up, picking up membership packages, and Tim Harper was setting up stuff and helping. I mean,
that's right.
The team is definitely an awesome group of people, and we definitely thank them for all their efforts. And Brent, you with BCTV and helping us last minute to get the coaches show last week, and we appreciate that. So Coach, we got a really good team, and we definitely thank you guys and want to let you all know how much we appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Coach, we had to take one on the chin Friday.
Yeah, there was a lot of mistakes made. I think our kids are working hard. We had to make a change during the week to a different center. That threw off some of our timing. He had a little jitters early on, snapped one over the quarterback's head. But we struggled with timing, and it caused a lot of offsides penalties. You're not going to win a game against a solid team, and Echo was a solid team to their credit. Large senior class.
Yeah.
They played hard. I think we put ourselves in a hole more so than them just dominating the game. When you have as many penalties as we had, those are correct. The good news is those are correctable mistakes. The bad news is, you put yourself behind the chains every time trying to get first downs and move the ball, and it definitely affected us offensively. We played about as poorly as we possibly could in the first half offensively, and the score was still 6-6. With that being said, we come out and they do a tremendous job of holding the football. I think we had 4 offensive plays in the third quarter and the first part of the fourth. So they did a great job of holding the ball and keeping us off the field, and that's to their credit. Our defense was playing hard and staying out there on the field, but just couldn't get them off the field. Didn't really give up anything just monstrous in the game, but weren't able to get them off on some 3rd and long situations where I know they converted one that was about a 3rd and 18, and tremendous player, tremendous play, but we should have been able to get them off the field in that situation.
Yeah.
But it's a learning experience. I tell a lot of people we're ecstatic about our numbers and that we have 61 guys, and those are great numbers. But last year we finished with, I want to say, maybe 34, and 5 were seniors, so 29. A few of those guys are injured and not playing that returned. We lost a few of them. So we may have, 20 or so guys, 25 guys that played on the team last year, and we have 61 on the team. Now, I'd like to be able to say we went out to a junior college and recruited some guys in, but no, we're teaching new guys how to play the game of football, and we didn't have a scrimmage, and some of those guys being under the lights for the first time, it was a tough night for them.
Yeah.
But I'm not disappointed with our guys. We made some mistakes. We coached them up this week. They're working hard. We're going to continue to work hard as a team, and fix our mistakes and get better at the game.
Yeah, Coach, I know a lot of people were discouraged Friday night. We build up, we hype up. It's no different than my anticipation for the Georgia Bulldogs leading into season of where we should be, and regardless of what quarterback decides to opt out at the last minute or this or that, as a fan, we always have high expectations. And I know for me, after leaving the game and going down to make sure the players had their food and that type of stuff, they lifted me up. When I'm walking in the building and a player immediately comes to me and he just says, "Mr. Joe, I know what I did wrong. I wish tomorrow was Monday so we could go to work so I could correct my mistakes." And that was very uplifting to me to see our players have that spark or that fire to one, recognize
that there was mistakes
made. 2, wanting the desire to fix it, the initiative to do so. And to me, after leaving there, it set a different tone. And I know you guys as a coaching staff, after speaking with you guys, you were immediately in your conference room with your entire staff, already starting a game plan on what Monday was going to be.
Right, and the things that we knew we had to correct. Nobody's pleased with an outcome when you felt like you were better than you showed.
Yeah.
There wasn't a single coach satisfied with the way we played. I definitely wasn't satisfied with the way we played. The players weren't satisfied with the way we played. With that being said, there were some good things that happened.
Yeah.
And there were some good plays made and some guys stepping up and making plays and guys growing up. You know, when you go out there and you look at our field and you see the guys out there playing, and sure, you saw them play last year and you saw them play as freshmen. Our starting safety and our 2 starting corners are all sophomores. And that's just bodes well for the future. Yes, there's times we're going to take our lumps, and there's times that we're not going to want to take our lumps. But things across this program are improving regularly, and I'm proud of my guys. Do we have days where we're frustrated? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I couldn't be prouder of the development with our guys and where we're going as a program.
Yeah.
Now, I know the fan base may not always be happy, and I can't control that.
Yeah.
But what I can control is how we work as a team, what we do to improve ourselves, and our kids believe that we're going to improve every week and get better. And I believe we're going to improve every week and get better. So, you know, that's our plans. We hope everybody comes out and supports it.
Absolutely, Coach. Let's backtrack a little bit before we go to the break, and just on let's go a little bit into offense and a little bit into defense of this game. So we saw Mason Michael at the starting position at quarterback, and so let's talk about the quarterback position. We seen that Terrion would come in a little bit. So I know this is early in the season, non-region matchups. Is this, you know, you kind of want to stay with 2 quarterbacks in certain situations, you know, without, I know, giving our opponents anything out there, but, or is it still a working to see who's officially going to fall into that starting slot?
It's going to be situational football. Wherever we feel like it's the right matchup for us.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, Mason was the starting quarterback going into last year. Terrion stepped in and did a wonderful job for us. And so he has a ton of experience. So if the situation calls on it, or we feel like it's beneficial for things that fit his skill set, it's just wise for us to use his skill set.
Absolutely.
You know, since we spent all that time with him at quarterback last year, why wouldn't we use that to the best of our ability this year?
Yeah.
I think, you know, it would be silly not to. So yes, Mason is our starting quarterback, but we have 2 very capable quarterbacks, and according to the situation, we're going to use them.
That's a good problem to have, Coach. You know, you always like to be there and have depth in every position. And one thing I noticed on offense, Coach, is, you know, I know you had your 11 starters, but throughout the night, I know you let the boys work, but I would see a few changes here or there that you guys were making some adjustments, especially in the 3rd and 4th quarter late. You were bringing maybe a player that played on defense and giving him a little offensive time.
Right. No, we're going to do that. You know, our starters are our starters. We're trying to create 11 starters on offense, 11 starters on defense. But with that being said, you know, if somebody's talented enough to help out on both sides of the ball, and we have guys that are talented enough to help out on both sides, we're going to use them in those situations. And so, no, that's just football.
Yeah. And plus, you're giving one of those guys a break.
Right.
For a series of downs that you're allowing this other player to come in, and we're not getting as winded during those times. So, you know, you've talked about your philosophy on that before at this level and staying competitive. Defense, pretty much same thing, Coach, as offensively. You know, one thing that I did notice defensively, we are still just a little bit undermatched. We were on the offensive line. And on the defensive line, we're still a little bit smaller than, well, this was our first opponent. I know last season it was pretty much everybody we faced, and it may be this season as well. We're still not.
You know, you can't make them grow any taller.
No.
You know, it'd be a whole lot cooler if you could. But no, you know, we're not the tallest guys.
Yeah.
But we have guys that are strong enough to compete in there. We have what we have.
Yeah.
And so I got a bunch of guys that are 5'10" and will stay in there and fight.
Absolutely.
And I'm okay with that. You know, they're not all going to be 6'2", 6'3". Now, in years to come, right now, our JV line is almost all 6 foot tall.
Yeah.
On offense. That day may come in the next, year or two, where we're significantly bigger up front, and bigger than some of our opponents. But right now, that's not us. So we're going to hang our hat on great technique, being strong in the weight room, and doing the things that we can do to be successful.
Your defensive scheme, one thing that Atco, I tell you what, their quarterback, by far to me, was probably the best athlete on the field for Atco, and he was a difficult player to stop, and that's something you can't simulate in practice, or it's very difficult to simulate in practice until you get to game time.
And, he's a talented player. I don't know if you can run him 20 times a game all season and have that young man hold up. But as long as he's healthy and they're running him, I think Atco's going to have a chance in a lot of games.
Yeah.
He throws well enough to keep people honest. And number two is definitely a good enough target down the field to make people miss and get open. So, if that kid physically holds up to being ran 20 and 25 times a game, then Atco has a chance to be very successful in the season, because, there's times where we're pretty close to being in the right position and he just made people miss.
Yeah. We coach on defense. We were able to recover some of the turnovers that Atco made. We just wasn't able to capitalize on all of them. And there was also quite a few missed opportunities, whether it be interception or recovering a fumble. And sometimes I understand the ball just doesn't bounce your way. Sometimes a ball will hit the dirt and it bounces directly back up to the player. But, what are things that you guys worked on this week?
I think the ball hit the ground 5 times and we got on it twice. And then I know my defensive backs were in the position to make an interception or two, maybe a third, and they just didn't come down with it.
Yeah.
That's things experience and time is going to help us with. You look across, our linebacking core. We're going to return most of them. You look at, down on the D-line, we're going to still return guys there next year. I've already talked about our secondary. We'll lose a strong safety and a free safety, and 1 or 2 down linemen. We're playing a lot of young guys, and they're getting better. So that all bodes well for us as the season progresses. I'm not disappointed with us defensively. I think there's some things we could have done to make some plays and capitalize on a few more turnovers. Obviously there's some tackles that could have been made, but in comparison to where we started at this time last year, our defense is far superior to where they were game 1 last year. And that's without any scrimmage games.
Yeah.
That's without OTAs in the summer. That's the first time under the lights in front of a crowd.
Yeah.
Because we had a scrimmage under the lights, but everybody was, stuck outside of a fence.
Yeah.
So, there was experience gained. You hate when it comes at the, the cost of a loss, but it's not a region loss. And I think we learned a lot from it this week. I think we'll continue to build moving forward, and that's what we're going to do.
Okay. Well, let us take a real quick break and get our sponsors the recognition they deserve, and we'll be right back with you shortly after this break. Raider Nation, welcome back to the Red Raider Coaches Show here with Keith Goss. Coach, we talked about Atco and everything there at the start, and and you went a little bit into it, but practice this week was a challenge in itself. School was out this entire week. It was a holiday weekend, but you guys were here Monday morning, 9 a.m. I don't think you left here till 10 o'clock. I talked to you Monday night.
It was a good long day. Coaches, we came in at 9 in the morning. We met, went over everything in the game, prepared for our week against Long County. And then the kids got here about 5:15. We lifted weights. And then, met offensively and defensively. And then got on the field about 7 o'clock at night, finished up about 9:30, and basically followed that routine Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night.
Yeah. So it for the coaching staff, it was a long week for you guys anyway, and I know it's even difficult. You're doing this plus you've got virtual classes going on.
That's
so your
right.
coaches have this in the middle of trying to prep for games as well. So
So-
they're just not a football coach. They're not
No,
a 100% football coach. So you do have other duties, right?
We had, even this morning, I got here, I did a Google meeting, did Google Meets with my health class, then got out on the field and started trying to paint the field. And, you had coaches in and out, off the field, going in to do their Google meetings. And it's just what has to be done. That's where we're at as a school system. I think it was a great plan this week to, great job by the administration to be have the forethought to let's take these 3 days and really clean the school and kind of make that as a way to fight COVID and stay ahead of the curve.
Oh, definitely. And Coach, I'm my hat's off to our administration and how proactive they've been of staying ahead of this. And it's really been showing, I feel, knock on wood, that we've been able to try to stay ahead of the curve of what's going on. And Coach, this is different than the norm of any year you've ever coached.
Oh, yeah, this is, there's no doubt. Like I said, I know last week, Raider Nation, we were all frustrated. I was frustrated, you were frustrated. And the players were frustrated with the way we played. But, we're blessed to be playing football.
Yeah.
There's teams still trying to play their first game that haven't gotten the opportunity yet, and we get to line up and play Friday night.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So definitely count our blessings there, Coach, and we appreciate what you and your staff are doing to overcome all these obstacles and these new changes and these virtual classes and the middle of coaching. And I know it's a challenge.
It is. So there's a lot of challenges, but you just got to answer.
You got to find a way. That's right.
And you got to find a way and keep growing and doing the things that we know are right.
Yeah.
And that's we're gonna do the next right thing.
Good.
And not everything we do might be perfect. And if it's wrong, we're gonna figure it out, and then we're gonna do the next right thing.
Good deal. Coach, Long County, so our early scout reports this summer when they said that football was going to take place in Georgia, and then certain school systems come out and said they would not be participating in fall sports. So all these rumors start stirring, and we had heard that Long County took on quite a few of Liberty County's players because they opted out of fall sports. Right. But here last minute, Liberty looks like they're opting in.
Yeah.
And
Bradwell Institute's in Liberty County, and they're actually geographically really close to Long County High School. So the thought was that if Liberty didn't play sports, that a lot of those guys were going to try to find a way to get an address to come across the line. I don't think that happened. I know their head coach pretty well. I definitely call him my friend. And so I joked with him when I first heard that all right, now I need you to send me a message, once a week telling me how many you got from Bradwell. And those messages never came, and I said, man, you gotta be telling a story.
Yeah.
If they're not playing, those kids are gonna go play somewhere.
yeah,
And he was, telling me that they had, and he thought that they were gonna, try to salvage part of a season. And so it looks like Liberty County is trying to salvage part of a season at this point. So I think, those kids stayed there.
right. And they may have that's not even our region, we won't even go into that discussion, but, good for them, good for those athletes
Right.
of Liberty County to have an opportunity. And we don't wish any of these kids' seasons to be taken
Oh,
away.
no.
And, we want them to be able to play. But Long County, Coach, they faced Berrien County last week. I'm on top of my watching staying on top. It was a crazy week for me as well, so I didn't get to really review any of their film and see how they did. I know they were up 21-0 at the half
Right.
against Berrien, and then Berrien came back. You know, what did you and your coaching staff see in breaking down that film of what Long County's going to have and kind of where they stand?
Long County, they're a program that's struggled the last few years. Coach J.T. Pollock has done a great job of building them up.
Now, wasn't he formerly at Appleton?
He
correct?
was formerly at Appleton.
He was formerly
He
at
was.
Appleton, just to make Raider Nation aware. So,
And you know, he's a good coach, good man. He has really, you know, put the time in there to build that program up from nothing. And they were up 21-0, and you know, then I think they had 5 or 6 straight turnovers. And you know, I don't care who you are, you make that many mistakes and put the ball on the ground that many times, you're going to lose.
yeah.
But you know, they're a much improved team from what they have been in the past.
Right. Size, Coach, as far as what you could tell on film, was there anything that you could see there? I know in years past when we would face Long County up front, offensively and defensively, they've always had some pretty big players. I remember one kid, 6'6", you know, 295, 300 pounds, and they've generally got some big old boys. But this year, they a little bit closer to scale to us, not just this real big standout.
No, I mean, they have some decent size. I wouldn't say they were as big as Atco up front.
Right.
But you know, they have a couple of decent sized guys. They're going to be athletically on the edge. They have some very gifted and talented guys, and so I mean, I look for it to be a good matchup.
Well, good, and you know, and I know that's what Raider Nation wants. You know, we want a good game, and for our players to go in there and have a worthy opponent that's going to continue to help us grow and get better. You know, if you have an opponent that you come in and you beat them 60-0, what did you really gain from that game? So, yes, we want wins, and yes, we expect to win, but at the same time, it's a process,
right?
And you want to go in there and have a challenge. And
continue to grow.
And continue to grow. Offensively, did Coach Pollock, he kind of stand with a lot of the same schemes offensively and defensively that he ran at Appleton, Coach?
He's a little different. You know, back in his days of Screven and when he first went to Appleton, he was a slant 50 guy. But as the game's evolved, 5-man fronts aren't something you see every day anymore. The ability to get down to a 5-man front, yes, but for that to be your base. If he wants to get there now, he walks into an under front, which brings the linebacker up and bumps his lineman over. But he's going to base out a 4-3-2 high shell. That's what he's doing now. He's got some good players in that scheme, and you know, we look forward to seeing how we match up Friday night.
Coach, before we leave on them, offensively, quarterback, running back, I know you said out on the edges, they got some players there that can make some plays. So wide receiver, they got some decent players. What did you see on film as far as quarterback and running back?
I mean, they got 2 quarterbacks that play, and you know, both of them are pretty good runners. So quarterback run game is going to be a part of what they do.
So a little wildcat.
Yeah, they're gonna run their quarterback, and you know, athletically they're good enough to hurt you on the edge.
I got you. So, well, Coach, I know you did everything possible to get our boys prepared this week, to have them ready for Long County, and I know they're going to go out there and give it their all. And you know, just seeing them all week this week, and a lot of them's post and their eagerness. You know, I know they're ready to get out there and improve themselves. And,
right.
And as far as a fan of Raider Nation and Red Raider football, you know, I want to support them in that 100%. And Coach, we appreciate what you're doing and your staff. And what were you wanting to say there?
Just, you know, our guys, you know, one game's not going to define us. No, we didn't play our best, but our guys are working hard. We're going to continue to get better, and you know, come out Friday night and support the guys and horns up and go Big Red.
Oh, absolutely. Coach, Before we leave, we definitely, meals this week. So last week, Southside Church of God
That's right.
did the pregame meal, and we thank their staff and everything that they did to provide that for the players. Was a very good meal. I know the players enjoyed it, and we thank them. This week coming up, we've got Pine Level Baptist Church is providing the meal, and we want to thank those guys over there for making this possible tomorrow and providing us another game. And I want to thank T-Boy Carter for helping us to arrange all this. And
set it up.
and this year it's been a challenge, a new challenge, because typically we would go to the churches and eat, but this year we're not doing it. So they're either catering the food or packaging the food and having it brought here to the school. So it's a whole new challenge in itself. So we commend the churches for what you guys are doing, and we appreciate it, and we thank you for your prayers for our players and our team and our school system, and we ask that you can please continue those prayers to keep our players healthy and our coaches healthy during this pandemic and what we're going through, and our community as well. Again, you know, it can hit any of our homes or any of our families at any time, and
That's the truth, and that's, you know, something that when we're moving forward as athletic programs, as a community, just this, you know, we're far from being done with this.
Yeah.
And it can affect us any day, any program, any part of the school. So, you know, really just keep your thoughts and prayers on our community, and hopefully we'll make it through this and be able to do the things we want to do.
Raider Nation, we thank you for everyone coming out this past Friday night. I think everyone did well. I saw most of the elderly people in the crowd wearing a mask. We highly support that. If you're coming to the game this week, it is here in Alma, Georgia. I say get here at 7 o'clock. We will have the Raider Walk around 7:15.
7:25, and
Okay,
then we have senior night.
And we have, glad you brought that up, Coach.
And so our seniors will be walking. We're going to make sure that our seniors get honored, just in case anything else happens, because you don't know what's going to happen during the pandemic. And so we wanted to make sure that these seniors had an opportunity to be honored.
Coach, I appreciate you bringing that forward, and let's do that and get that recognition.
And so if we can get people in the stands at 7 o'clock, that's when we'll be starting this.
Okay.
And just to honor these young men that are putting in the time and effort.
Yeah. So definitely come out, support senior night. Bring your mask with you. Don't know if you will be placed in a position where you can't social distance, and at least you've got your mask on you, that you could do that while you're there. We appreciate all the precautions everyone's taken. The Raider trailer will be open. I know student body has called this game to be tie-dye week, Coach. I know the Raider trailer has white shirts that are on sale for the student body if they want to contact my wife, Laura Hayes, and she's got them on sale for the students, and they can tie-dye those shirts. They're Red Raider shirts, and you could tie-dye them.
That'd definitely be a good way to do it.
That'd be a good way to do it. So got your Raider head and get your tie-dye in there on the white shirt. Everybody show up, show out, and let's support our Red Raiders. They're still working hard. Coach, we appreciate you and your staff and our administration. And again, we will love to see you all there, and come on out and support. Go Big Red and horns up.
Horns up.